Welcome to Off the Court, a show dedicated to making you the best version of yourself as a player and as a person. I'm Coach Jack, CEO and owner of Close the Gate Hoops. If you're trying to take your life and game to the next level, this is the podcast for you. Let's get it. What up, gatekeepers? Back at you with another episode of Off the Court. Today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic that is very controversial in terms of the whole landscape of basketball training. And the more I've trained myself and in terms of measuring my improvement, in terms of input and output, what's actually paying off in terms of what I'm training, I have noticed that I have seen much more significant improvement when I actually make less in my workouts, right? And this is a concept we talk about all the time with Close the Gate, is chasing failure. And this ties into a previous podcast episode that I actually just talked about in terms of surrendering to results, right? When we're okay with failing and missing more, it's not that we don't want to miss, we don't want to fail, right? But when we're okay with that aspect, it's actually psychologically proven that you're more likely to make more shots if you're okay with missing. Isn't that crazy, right? It's just like winning and losing. If you've ever found someone that just will absolutely freak out when they lose a game of basketball, they're definitely not okay in terms of losing, which in return actually makes them win less because they're so not okay with losing, right? When we surrender to results and we're just okay and understanding that everything's going to happen how it's supposed to be into your best interest, right? We're actually going to end up making more shots in the long run. And in terms of chase failure, our brain learns and adapts based off movements that we can't do in the present moment, right? So when I'm trying to learn how to get into a wider stance, right? Wider footwork, we've talked a lot about lately at Close the Gate. When I need to get into wider footwork, right? When I'm learning this movement, I'm going to be really bad at it to start, but that's how our body learns and adapts, right? And so I've heard plenty of podcast episodes about in terms of basketball training, train for makes. You want to make this many shots in this amount of time, right? But what that's focusing our mind is on the end result, right? Something that you actually cannot fully control. If you could fully control if the shot went in or not, right, you'd make every shot. You have influential control in terms of the amount of work you can put in to make more shots in the long run, right? But you don't have full control. So when we're so focused on making this amount of shots for this workout, right, that's getting us into the mindset of that makes only matter, right? And this is a huge problem. And one of the biggest reasons today I think my game has suffered is because I was so focused on makes while training, right? And as a result, the biggest hindrance that this had on me was my body language. My composure and body language was just absolutely terrible if I didn't make the shot. But that all was stemmed from the structure of my training workouts being directly correlated and focused on makes, right? So when I am okay with constantly failing, with missing, when I'm okay with this, I don't like to miss, I don't like to fail, I'm completely surrendered to the result, right? I'm going to end up having more success in terms of the training that I'm putting in and the expectations that I have from my training. So what I encourage you to do, gatekeepers, is implement more creativity and variable work into your skills training. And when I say variable work, that means your brain isn't making pre-planned movements, right? So in a game, you never know what's going to happen, right? You don't pre-plan everything you're going to do. It's reactionary based off of what your defender is going to do, or say offensive player if you're playing on defense. The reason variable training people don't like it a lot is because it's statistically proven you're going to miss more, you're going to fail more in training, right? But you're going to have better in-game results because your body is stimulated the same way it would be in a game when you're not knowing what's going to happen. For example, if I go into catch and I say 1, that means I have to go left, right. Or if I say 2, then that means I have to go right, left. Something as simple as that can stimulate your brain in the same way it would in a game. I strongly encourage all of you gatekeepers, continue to embrace failing and surrendering to the result. Everything is going to work out for you. Trust everything, right? Not just a process. Trust in everything in your life and amazing things will happen. The law of attraction, right? When we view things in terms of, it's not necessarily positive, but when we view things in terms of trust, like literally trusting everything in the universe to conspire for you instead of against you, it's amazing what can happen to you. But I strongly encourage you gatekeepers, stop focusing on makes in your workout. It truly destroys body language and expectations that you may have for yourself for the amount of work you're putting in. So I strongly encourage you gatekeepers to fail more, miss more in your training workouts, and surrender to the result, right? Trust everything.
Trust absolutely everything. Your work will pay off, but stop focusing on that end result of makes. Thanks for listening to this quick episode of Off the Court Gatekeepers. Just remember, miss more and fail more in your training. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Off the Court. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please don't forget to leave reviews if you haven't yet. This helps us with engagement and helps us rank higher to make an influence on more basketball lives. I also strongly encourage you guys to check out our free ebook download that's 25 pages long, How to Unlock the Mental Side of the Game. I was a player that was constantly grinding and constantly working, and it was really hard for me not to see results from the amount of work I was putting in. But this ebook that I wrote dives exactly into those types of questions. I was completely ignoring the most important part of basketball, which is the mental side of the game. So the 25-page ebook that I wrote is for you guys to give yourselves a leg up on your competition and almost like a secret weapon. I call it the basketball cheat code. Also, check out our website, ctghoops.com. On there, we got tons of programs that you guys can download to make yourselves a better basketball player. We have the CTG Productivity Notebook, helping you guys become addicted to productivity. Of course, in-person training. We are located now in multiple cities. And then we have the CTG blog, free education on becoming your best basketball self. Lastly, follow all our social media pages at CTG Hoops, where we post multiple times a day, trying to make you the best player and person that you can be. All the links for these are down in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys check out all the other episodes of Off the Court, and make sure you're ready for next week's episode. I'm Coach Jack. We out, baby. Peace.